Good. All right, if I can have everybody's attention. Hello, good morning. I'm Harry Jowert. I'm the Vice President of the Association. I'm excited to meet everybody that I haven't up to this point. People I already know, it's good to see you guys again. Super excited to be here. Drove up from Fort Benning, wouldn't miss it for the world. We're going to get started with the annual membership meeting. It's going to be fairly fast. It's going to be fairly informal. And we're just going to put feelers out for next year's reunion and some of the other stuff. Sign-in sheet that's going around. Has everybody signed it? It's over there now. Okay, so we still need to do it. And then we're just going to have Chris read the minutes from the previous meeting, and then we'll get rolling.
So these minutes are fairly concise. So the last meeting was actually held on October 18th, 2019. And over 40 persons attended the annual membership meeting, including many lifetime members. Jim Farrell, then president, stated there was a representative presence of the association's membership. Jim summarized very detailed minutes from the prior 2018 annual membership meeting that was held on November 2nd, 2018. The membership voted to adopt the minutes as written, understanding they were generated based on tape recording of the entire meeting. Then there was the treasurer's report, and myself as treasurer presented an unaudited 2018 financial summary. Highlights included memorial in honor donations for $6,885 that drove net ordinary income to a positive $7,151 for all of 2018. A Fort Walton Beach reunion loss of $2,072. Total net income for 2018 of $5,079. And a net unrestricted cash position on December 31st, 2018 of $33,829, with $2,500 additional funds earmarked for future annual awards of the Rock Merit Squad Leader of the Year. Chris answered questions surrounding year-end accounts receivable, an outstanding payment from reunion attendees from Fort Bragg, and accounts payable, a printing mailing cost incurred during Q4 of 2018, not yet paid by year-end. Note, those balances were cleared during 2019. The association's unrestricted cash balance has more than doubled from below $15,000 on October 31st, 2015 to above $33,000 on December 31st, 2018. Then there was a nominating committee, and Rock Merit was chairing that at that point, and he recommended the following slate for the board of directors, providing additional information on new candidates. Frank DuBois, president; Harry Jowert, vice president; Chris Harris, treasurer; Rob Palmer, secretary; Dick O'Donnell remains as lifetime chairperson. The membership approved the slate by acclamation. There was some discussion on unfinished business. First of all, website support. Jim mentioned that the association continues to search for a website professional that can contribute substantial volunteer time to assist Dick O'Donnell. In terms of membership outreach, Jim mentioned that going forward, the association needs to pivot more to social media in terms of attracting new members and communicating with existing members. In terms of active duty outreach, Jim mentioned the benefits of having Sergeant Major Noonan as vice president, as he's been able to connect well with Fort Bragg paratroopers. By having active duty as board members in the future, the hope is these communication links will continue and be strengthened. There was substantial member discussion around the 2020 reunion. Substantial time was dedicated to discussing the next reunion, specifically partnering with the El Paso chapter, the 82nd Airborne Division Association, on their July 1 to 5, 2020 Sun City Fiesta. Board members explained the financial benefits of teaming up with El Paso and how moving the reunion from October to the early summer was a test of our association's longstanding interest of being more family-friendly in terms of allowing children and grandchildren to attend. The board fielded several questions from members surrounding equal marketing, how money would flow, influence on scheduled events, etc. Wanda Hamilton made a case for having the reunion in Ohio, and discussion ensued. In the end, the motion was made to partner with El Paso for July 2020 and to hold the 2021 reunion in Columbus, Ohio. The motion passed. And as we all know, El Paso didn't happen because of COVID-19. The meeting adjourned at 10:45 a.m. after a duration of 75 minutes. This one won't go 75 minutes. So that's it, that's the minutes. So I guess I can just go directly into the treasurer's report.
No, we have to move to accept the minutes?
Oh, yeah, good
I'd like
point.
to move that we accept the minutes as read.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good one, Ellen, thanks.
So I kept the same format as we did in 2018, but this is a 2-year shot because it's 2019 combined with 2020, since we missed a meeting last year. So I just thought it was easier. As I just read, we started with unrestricted cash. That means cash that could be used for anything. It's not earmarked for a specific purpose. Of $33,829 at the end of 2018. You can see over the next 2 years, modest membership revenue, a little bit of hat and shirt sales that were not associated with a reunion. And then the main expense was Diablo and website, because that's 2 years worth, and we published probably 5 Diablos over those 2 years. And the other expense is a little higher, but that includes some things that we donated, like $750 to a Christmas drive at Fort Bragg. And there was some other money given to Reese at Arlington. So that's the majority of that, with the special items like that. So in general, over this 2-year time period, there was almost a $5,000 loss because of those expenses and not much revenue coming in. The reunion that was in October of 2019 actually lost $3,200. When I was going into the reunion, I told the board the day before, 2 days before that, I said the loss could have been as much as $7,500. It was because we had a complication in that one Fury was deployed and most of 2 Fury was on 2-hour call. So we couldn't get the participation that we had targeted for. And we had expanded the program to include Friday night activities that cost money. So in the end, that reunion turned out much better than it could have. So, and historically, we generally have lost $2,000-3,000 on reunions.
It was worth every penny.
Right.
It was worth every
Okay.
penny. It was fantastic reunion.
But, and then, so the net income combining the reunion and just ongoing things was a loss of $8,000 for the year. The 2 years, period. And then, sorry. So basically, it left us with the so-called unrestricted cash position of $25,700 at the end of 2020. So, relatively speaking, if you just look over the years from October 2015, which was a fiscal year close then, and then we went to calendar year, we've been building up the cash, but we lost a little bit of ground in the last 2 years. I'm happy to predict this reunion will make money. So I can't see how it could lose at this point, every number I've run. So we're in pretty good shape considering we went through this 2-year period of disruption. Any questions? So can we have a motion to approve these unaudited financial summaries?
So moved.
So moved. I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So it's that. Harry, I don't know I guess I have to take the nominating committee because Sergeant Major Noonan couldn't be here, but he did submit it in writing. It was his slate, recommended slate was approved by the board yesterday during our meeting. And the recommendation is for President, Colonel James Browning, Vice President, Harry Jowert, Treasurer, myself again, and Rob Palmer as Secretary again. So that's the recommended slate.
I move we accept the slate.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. There is no other committee report because there was no other activity of any substantial consequence. So the unfinished business shows up. It's very similar status as to where we were at the end of 2018 in terms of still out there seeking website support for Dick, and it's going to be up to the new board to figure out membership and active duty outreach. Any comments from you guys on that?
Chris, would we ever consider paying someone to do the,
I always thought we'd have to pay someone at some point. I always thought that.
So we've talked, not in the capacity of like board stuff, but just in general, the friction with the website and moving towards paying someone, integrating all the social media onto the website, just so that it's more available. We have to shift with the times, and the times now are not newspapers and coffee shops, it's cell phones and driving. So that's where we have to target it. As far as, well, I'll just keep going. The member outreach, just how we structure our position with the battalions. What's our relationships? What's the give and take? That sounds very direct and cold-hearted, but we have to have a direction so that we can attack it, hit the next one, so on and so forth. I think we have great excitement, maybe we'll call it, to link in with 2nd Battalion. I'm sure it'll be the same with 1st. So I see that where it's been an issue. I don't think we're going to have the friction with that anymore. And what was the last thing in the unfinished business? Active duty, and the member outreach. The active duty outreach and the membership outreach, I mean, that goes hand in hand. And then it's kind of exemplified by the website, because that's the manner we take most of the memberships, I'm sure, is that it's online. I can tell you from experience, I have about 6 guys who are 1 Fury or 2 Fury veterans that I work with at the 507th. Every time they come down to Jump Branch, I said, hey, did you sign up yet? Man, I get on there, and I can't find it, and then I just, something happens. So that's friction, right? You talk to anybody in online sales, the biggest thing between putting it in your cart and pressing that complete order is that sales friction. So with new website development, with all the integration, we eliminate that friction, I think we'll have a better product. We increase how we're getting out to these younger kids. They like buying stuff online anyway. And then we culminate that in these reunions and how we push forward, and we'll get into that as we get going. But I think the future looks extremely bright, and I think we're going to get a great fresh crop of lifetime and annual members. Sir, you have things to add?
Well, hey, so I appreciate it. I know,
And congratulations.
I really do appreciate it. This is, you know, I appreciate Ryan. He did a great job. We had a conversation early on. I had just coming out of battalion command. He came out on the list, and one of the conversations was, you know, hey, this relationship that we have with this association is incredibly important. And it's not just about what, I love the comment yesterday at breakfast. It's not about what the active duty can do for the veterans. And it's not necessarily what the veterans can do for the active duty. It is a relationship. And so as we look at things that we can do that link in better with what's going on at the battalions, we could also expand a little bit more out to where the other chapters and the other associations are at as well. This is about not just this particular veterans group, but veterans group touching other veterans group. And I'm starting to see more and more connections as I talk to all of you. So I'm excited about this next year, for sure. I know Harry and I what we'd like to do is probably lay out a 3-year plan on touch points and look at exactly where we want to target the right numbers for the next reunion, but also target the very specific events that we can all weigh into, all agree to, and then go from there. And I look forward to getting your feedback as well. And this is going to be an exciting year. As Harry says, there is a digital aspect to this that we do need to create the outreach, but there is a very easy way to connect with our active members as well, active members on the active duty side, but as well as the veterans that are out there that are not connected. We're connected in different ways. We really do really want to focus on that as well. So thank you very much. Looking forward to this this next year, and yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm shocked. I am. Little, still wearing on me, but I'll look forward to chatting with all of you. So thanks.
And then, I guess we'll hit on the new business, see what we want to get to. All right, so we're looking at the 2022 reunion, right? We want buy-in from the membership as far as where do you guys want to go? Where do we want to have it? What are things we can do? And what we're working towards is it's the friends and family of the 508. I would like to bring my friends and family. And I'll be honest with you, I'd like to double dip it as a vacation and a reunion. So we find an area based on where people would like to go, and you know, maybe we're a little bit, I don't want to say looser in the structure, but as an example, hey, we have a breakfast, we have a little talking point session, presentations, but hey, at 2 o'clock, who's going sturgeon fishing and who's going golfing? Make sure you get there. We'll see you guys at 9 tomorrow. Have a good time. Culminate it with, obviously not that exactly, but something along those lines. So where do we want to go?
Just a thought as we go into this, if we were trying to bring in new paratroopers and connect current with older generations, having it close enough to brag that they can drive.
That's good.
What did he say?
So with the current younger, the soldiers, the active soldiers, in an effort to bring them in attendance, don't have it in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
Have it within a driving distance of
Yeah,
Fort Bragg.
You had it between Charleston, South Carolina, and potentially like DC, somewhere in that area, so that they can drive and get there. Or keep it like Wilmington, North Carolina. They can even stay in the barracks and make it in the morning or make it in the evening. Somewhere close enough that you can have, hey, all Alpha Company, you're getting 2 Bluebird buses and you're heading to the reunion.
So I guess Columbus is too far, so they get a Fort Benning.
Well, I mean,
I mean, we haven't done that in,
well, so
it's been,
we're
what, 10 years since we were there?
I mean, and we're taking, there's going to be no decision, safe to say, of where the next one's going to be today. So we're gonna pick your brains, pull out some locations, see, identify kind of what we can do without, spending like Congress. Make sure we can have the most participation and go from there. So we have a.
But I wonder, I don't think it'd be bad to have like every other year at Fort Bragg. Do you, Chris, what do you think? I mean, have every other year at Fort Bragg, would that be?
And
It's not impossible, but at the same time, where Harry's coming from, and this is one of the things that I want to look at. It is, we've got some great chapters that are out there. Being close to Fort Bragg is not bad, and there's a lot of great opportunities there at Fort Bragg. But we're already going to be there once a year for All American Week.
Oh, yeah.
Every year we're going to be at All American Week, right? And so if we can get the guys a little bit away from Fort Bragg, that's also helpful too for them, because they can let their hair down a little bit.
Yeah.
And no offense to Fayetteville, North Carolina, we'll just say that the diversity and availability of young available individuals are not necessarily great
We
out
saw that
there.
in Charleston.
But Charleston's a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
And so, right.
We were talking about Cody last night.
Yeah, Cody Brown, right? And I'm pretty sure he still has a couple girlfriends down in Charleston. So, but where I think the way we're approaching this is not just about, hey, we're let's stay close to Fort Bragg, but this is also about us. When was the last time we went to the nation's capital in force? I know we do the laying of the wreaths, which is it's a smaller contingent, but DC's a great place. It's got a lot of monuments, and they certainly cater to veteran groups very, very well. Wilmington, North Carolina has some great aspects as well. It's also close to the beach. Activities, as we think through this, One of the key things that I'd like to do is I love the activities that we do, and I'm really excited about all of the things that are available. There is, when we go to different places and we expand and kind of jump around a little bit, it gives us also the opportunity to include some of the other veterans, to have some of these connective events. And it's not just oral histories. Some of these guys like paintball. Some of these guys like doing fishing trips. These are not bad ideas. Oh, by the way, I don't know if any of you guys like guns.
No.
But I would not mind going to a range and having a little fun. And I know a couple of people that would help us set this thing up. So there are opportunities that connect all veterans from all eras.
Is Washington DC close enough for the soldiers from Fort Bragg to drive?
Absolutely, it's a 5-hour drive.
5 hour drive.
5 hours.
Trust me, I do it way too often.
Not Fort Benning, there's nothing to do at Columbus, Georgia.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, right, yeah. Like, you go down to BD Drive if you like. You're right. So there's an opportunity in Washington, D.C. There's opportunities along the coast around that area, but it doesn't have to be every year. We can still do every other year. We start moving back towards the west. I love the idea of going to El Paso. I wouldn't mind doing a Las Vegas veterans.
That would
Sure.
be much.
How about, well, if you're thinking about local to Bragg, how about Pigeon Cove?
Yeah,
That's another place.
That's it,
Can that
absolutely.
be family
and
oriented?
family oriented, absolutely. So I like the idea of having not just that, but we also have, we can probably go fishing. There's probably a couple places we can go shooting. These are the things that, I hate to say it, but paratroopers love to do. I mean, so why not have things that connect paratroopers from all eras? I would love to watch someone shoot an M1 Garand that potentially shot an M1 Garand in combat, or an M14 that shot an M14 in combat, and throw the young paratroopers
Well,
on them.
Out in, near Montgomery, we have a machine gun range.
There we go.
You can fire Mama Dukes,
Yep.
an M60, and M42, German one. And you have M16s, AK-47s, you have all that you can fire out.
Sounds like you're volunteering for
Well,
something. I appreciate it. No, and that's exactly right. I know,
And
anyone
that's,
doesn't want to shoot something,
what,
right?
90 miles away from Fort Benning,
Yeah, okay,
so.
yeah, there's a lot of good opportunities around. I think we can get a decent amount of connective
Well, I'm a
tissue.
killer rat high, what do you want?
All right.
That's okay, we love you.
So we're interested in your ideas, we're interested in what you guys want to do, but we're also interested
I invited a
in
guy
what you
from
think would connect to the younger paratroopers. What do they want to hear your stories, but they also want to, I hate to say it, they kind of want to see you in action too.
I trained.
I hate to say it, but we're all paratroopers, we're all still young and tough, no matter how old we are, we can get after it and get it, so. Yeah, okay,
I think one of the places George considers going to Jacksonville, Florida too.
okay.
Which is, you talk about having a vacation, we have a connectivity with Camp Langley.
I love this, yeah, absolutely.
And
So,
it's only about 40 miles from Jacksonville, you're right there on the beach, it's not that far from Fort Bragg.
yeah.
I-95, if you're going to Savannah, you just keep going to Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's, and I still want to do this idea where we're every other year at the very minimum, we're closer to Fort Bragg as we can. But the other half of the second year, there's no reason we can't explore the idea of going somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. So, thank
Because
you.
I don't know how many, and maybe a lot of you do, how many of us really go back for All-American Week?
Some of us do.
Yeah, some of you guys are still in the Army.
Well,
And there are some old timers that go back.
there are,
Yeah.
and we have a pretty, this is the only time where 1st Battalion and 2nd Battalion get to be together because they're in different
Yeah,
brigades.
that's right.
And so they get to touch one another and say, hey, look, we're all 508. That's really the only time they really get together, except for reunions.
Yeah.
And so that's, there's not a whole lot of issues with that. You got anything else, guys?
I can't hear you.
You might tell them when All-American Week is this year, because it's not in May, it's, I think, moved to August.
Last week,
August
August
30th.
It's like
Yeah,
27
August
August.
30th through the 2nd or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Last week in August.
see, and I didn't know that until last night, and I thought, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
30 August.
I've known that for a while.
Sister, wait.
It won't be hot at all.
I've been there for the last 3
I'll
months.
be there. Baby boy.
That's right.
So just for the sake of argument, do we wanna say DC, Columbus, Montgomery, Jacksonville,
I think those are.
a three to kind of,
Let's throw Wilmington in there too.
and Wilmington?
Yeah.
So Wilmington, Jacksonville, Columbus, DC, 4 places we can hone in on the 2022 reunion.
Florida would be gun friendly.
Yeah, DC will be too, but you'll be protecting yourself.
There you go, there you go. That's, hey, that's his story and I'm sticking to it.
I think we're good. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up? Obviously, once we figure out where we're going, we can kind of get out what we're going to do and how that's going to go. And I am going to take advantage of every bit of the 507th to utilize Silver Wings and Liberty Jump Team and everybody else. If the location supports it, I think that would, I like seeing people fall out of airplanes. So, Chris, anything?
No, I think that's good.
Good? Yep. I think that's it, so, yeah, just get a motion to adjourn and we'll move on.
I moved to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Very good.